Today, this is the second video in a short series that has to do with 72-hour kits. And today we're going to be talking about the 3 top tactics for a 72-hour emergency kit. First thing I want to cover is the military acronym, or acronym that my husband used in the military, called P.A.C.E. And P.A.C.E. stands for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency. Whenever you're planning anything, you need to go through all these levels in your planning. You know, if it's primary, no worries. If it's an alternate, you need to make sure you got an alternate way to do anything that has to do with your bug out bag, because it depends on whether or not it's winter, summer, and what event is happening that's causing you to have to get your kit and leave in the first place, you know, what emergency. And then you need to have a contingency plan and an emergency plan. So that's when poo has hit the fan and it's really, really bad. So think about that as you're planning your 72-hour kit. And also, you want to recognize that number one thing is recognize that something could happen to you. So we like to teach people, okay, pick out the 5 top things that could happen or most likely to happen in your area. What hazards or threats are there to you in your area? Different events mean how you may travel as well. And then the second thing is assembling your kit. So you got to think about it. If you're in an extreme climate change, you know, your winter, the weather is really, really bad, you're going to have to alter your kit with, you know, heavy, really, really good clothes that have a real good insulation value. And in the summer, you're going to need to carry more water. So what we recommend is twice a year, say, depending on where you live in the United States or in the world, but for us, we have 4 definite seasons up here. It gets down to single digits and below 0 at sometimes. Plus we get snow and a lot of wind, depending on how the winter is going and what part of winter time it is. So you want to make sure that that you are changing out your clothes and what you have, because in the summertime you're not going to need a great big old heavy-duty parka unless you're bugging out. Your plans are to go to Tin Top in Colorado that's at 10,000 feet. And in June, when we went camping there with our kids and we had a baby in a playpen, we went out in the morning and I told Scott, I said, I can see my breath, and he says, it's not freezing. Darn if it won't. We had an old Jeep Wagoneer and on the thermometer it said it was 32. So if you're going to be, or you have a chance in the summer, you may need that heavier parka or heavy clothing. But we recommend in like April for us, that's the time to start pulling out the heavier winter stuff and putting more summer clothes, shoes, you know, hiking boots, whatever it is you're gonna be using. And then in the fall, like October for us, that's when we start taking the shorts out and we start putting our heavier clothing in, and make sure that you've got a heavier rated sleeping bag and whatnot. So and number 3 of the top tactics for your 72-hour emergency kit is to do a military recon. So you want to go physically or drive or walk whatever route it is that you're going to be going. If it's a desert route, you're going to need to take more water. You need to plan for that. You can also go on Google Maps, you guys, and you can draw your route out to wherever you're going, and it'll tell you how long it is, and you can also see the elevation profile. So that lets you know how steep of area it is that you're going to be crossing. If it's just little hills, and I mean it can be a long hill, but if it's super steep, that makes a huge difference. So it might be significant easier for you to take a longer route, which would be easier route. You also got to think about obstacles. You know, are there rivers, are there lakes that you may have to cross over? If they are, and depending on the time of the year, you may not be able to do that, so you may have to go a different way. Also too, if there's choke point, you know, that could be an example, would be like if you're having to cross a bridge. So that's that's a choke. That's what's called a choke point. It's funneling you down into a real small area. If something happens to that bridge, or if the traffic is going super duper slow, or something has happened on the other side of the bridge that people can't cross over, that could be a very, very serious situation. Another thing too would be like mountain passes. For us going over Snoqualmie Pass in the wintertime, you know, in a non-emergency situation, you can be stuck for a long, long time. If there's a wreck, if there's an avalanche, you know, you could be stuck for a real, real long time there. And if it's a major natural disaster, hopefully you listen to the promptings or the warnings and you got the heck out of Dodge before it got really bad. So hope that was a help to you guys. These are just little short informational videos with a little bit of information. Going to be going a whole lot deeper in when we have a course and upcoming videos. It'll be a lot longer. These are meant to just be short and sweet and give you a general overview. Video number 3 is going to be bugging out and how to get from point A to point B, your mode of transportation, and just a little bit more in-depth things for you to think about that you may not have thought about. So want to wish you guys an awesome day. Hope everything's going great for you. God bless you. God bless America, and keep on prepping and stay tuned. If you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button. Please share with your family and friends, and please, for God's sake, prepare, you guys, and prepare. Go above and beyond. Think of what the worst a major emergency could happen to you and your loved ones, and prepare for that so you're safe, they're safe, and you can have peace of mind and sleep good at night. God bless, aloha, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and again, keep on prepping.